Hey guys, it's Dave here, and today I just want to talk to you about my story, the road I took to where today that I'm working full-time online. I want to share this with you because I believe it's important to be able to perhaps relate or identify with some people, and maybe you're in a position where you just either have a lot of debt or you're in a job that you don't like, or you're just in a position where you don't like what you're doing for a living and you'd like to get out of it. And I used to be in that position. I used to work a 9 to 5 job. Actually, I used to work from about 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And then I would come home and be completely exhausted and then, just eat dinner, go and shower, and then get up the next day and go to work. And, I hated my job. All right, so I've done a lot of things. I've been a belting technician. I've been an IT technician. I've worked for trading companies. I've done trading for a living. I've done youth work most of my life, working with children. And I recently just worked for a church, helping out with the kids and that. There was a mix-up that happened with the church, and they got somebody else, and it just wasn't going the way I wanted to go. And I still love working with kids. It's something I really want to do. It's my passion. And I want to be in a position where I can do that full time and contribute to youth work on a full time basis. And so I'm in a position now where I want to do this full time so that I can get to a position in 5 years' time and to retire and to do youth work for the rest of my life. That's what I want to do. And I just really want to talk to you about the story I've taken from the beginning to where I am now. And, this may be a little bit long. If you don't want to listen to it, that's fine. I just wanted to tell you what I went through. And first of all, I want to talk about the country I live in. Okay, in this country, South Africa, it's a beautiful place. I love it to death. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world because the beauty is amazing. We've got absolutely incredible weather. It really is great. We hardly have any earthquakes or anything like that. We really have great weather. We do have a couple of things against us, and one of them is the fact that internet marketing or e-commerce in this country is a little bit dead, to say the least. We don't have the e-commerce as it is in the US or the UK or Australia, New Zealand, places like that. We are quite new to that. And so whenever I talk about online marketing, it's nearly foreign to people. And I got into this, or got interested in online marketing years ago, about 5, maybe even longer, where I started to look on the internet and was interested in making money online, and I tried to look for a system that could work. And then I had a buddy come over who had been on a ship for a few years. He came back with his fiancée, and he wanted to work online because he had recently worked in an actual job where he did photography. And now that he was back from working on ships doing photography, he wanted to do something online because he had heard about making money online, and so he wanted to do it. So it took him about a year or two to actually get going. And I was very interested in this type of work. And so I met up with him, and he started talking to me about what I should do. And so he gave me some tips and some information on what I should do online. And I try to follow what he said. So he would do article marketing. He would go ahead and become an affiliate for programs. And then I would say, so what do you do to actually make money online? And he would say to me, well, Dave, what you got to do is you got to sit at your computer and you've got to write out articles, about 5 to 10 articles a day. And you've got to do this for a long period of time. And then you'll slowly develop traffic, and if people see, you'll then click on it and buy the products, and that's how you make money online. So, me being not the most academic person ever, because, I'm not that academic, I really enjoy learning, but I only really enjoy learning the stuff that I enjoy. And, writing and coming up with new stuff all the time was just not in my ballpark. I couldn't do it. It was so hard. I tried to write a few articles, but it was so exhausting. And I finally decided I was going to make my own product. So I got down and started writing a book. It took me 2 years. I wrote this book. It's called Personality Analytics, because I love studying human behavior and how people react and that sort of thing. So I wrote this book. It took me 2 years, and when I finally got it done, it went through so many corrections, and I actually aimed this book to be marketed towards the US. So I had to, get my spelling right and spell all sorts of words differently, and just make it a helpful book for understanding what people are like and how to get to know a person in 5 minutes. That sort of thing, these skills that I picked up along the way. So I wrote this book and I put it out on the internet, and I think in about 6 months I got 2 sales. I made like I made $60, and I completely made it by accident. I didn't even know who bought it. When I looked into it, I found out that I had actually sold the book to a school in my country and another person who I cannot remember who, but they bought my book, and I made some money off of it. But it wasn't enough, obviously, because $60, it was over a long period of time, and it was in a PayPal account, and I couldn't get the money transferred over into my bank account. The rigmarole I had to go through to get the money was just ridiculous, so I couldn't use that money for myself. And I spent months trying to find a way how I could actually get money into my account. But I then went online and looked at a program called Instant Payday Network. And I found out that you can make money online for free. And I thought, well, let me give this a try. So I went online and I tried to do it. And I found out that I couldn't qualify because I lived in South Africa, another roadblock for me. And so I put that idea away. I even wrote to Jeff Buchanan. He got back to me. He told me I couldn't do it. And then some months later, I found Ryan Maynard online, where he said the same thing. But when I clicked on the link, it was Instant Payday Network. And I emailed him saying, look, man, I can't do this program. What are you doing? And he says, well, I'm in Empower Network. And I thought, well, what's that? So he gave me the link, and he actually called me back, and I couldn't believe it. He called me. He actually built this connection with me where he spoke to me on Skype. We had a conversation, and I just couldn't believe that he took the time to contact me. That was really important to me, and I realized at that moment that there was something there, and he showed me what he was doing and making. He actually showed me, took snapshots of his account so I could actually see what was going on in his computer, and I realized that this was real. He was actually making real money online. So I decided that I was going to give it a go. And I said, look, I can't do Instant Payday Network, but what I can do is I can use it as a funnel. I can use it as a place for people who do not live in South Africa, who live in the United States, who live in the UK and Canada. So I would try and market Instant Payday Networks. And even if they came through my link, it didn't matter. If they went through Empower Network right at the end, I would make a small commission. So I tried, like, you cannot believe how I tried. If you see some of my first videos that came out, you would laugh yourself sick. It's ridiculous what I was doing. Man, I would go online saying, hi, my name is Dave, and I would say all the wrong stuff. And nobody was viewing my videos. And I remember when I started making the videos, I was getting like 3 views. And then I got 1 opt-in in like 2 weeks later. And I thought, whoa, 1 opt-in. I got somebody's email address, and nobody was taking action, and they were going for the trial. But whenever they made any money on that, Ryan would get all the commissions, and I didn't. But that didn't bother me. I thought, well, I'll just keep at it. So I started to practice. Over a few, months, I started to practice and make money online. And I did this for about 8 months. Now, you have to understand something. Empower Network costs $25 a month. So for me, that was like me paying $250 a month, because that's how much money it was. $25 in the States. Back then, you could say, right, you can buy like maybe 2 or 3 cups of coffee at Starbucks. And so I decided that I was, sorry if you can hear those birds, that's the hardy does. If you can't, it's because I've taken them out of the video. But anyway, I was making, I would have to pay 250 Rand, which was a big chunk of my money. It was like if you had to pay $250 a month. So I got into Empower Network paying that, and I didn't know all the other stuff. I then found out you had to pay $19 a month for the affiliate fee, and I thought, wow, $45? Are you insane? That's 450 Rand. That's $450. And I thought, no, I can't do this. But I said, you know what? I'm going to do it anyway. So I did it. I put the money in. I begged, borrowed, and stole. I mean, I was looking everywhere for this money. Like, I didn't actually steal. But when I would work, I would just take the money and put that in the business. Now, when I got those two out of the way, I found out you needed an autoresponder. And that was an extra $19. So at the end of the day, I was paying 650 Rand for a business that I, in the back of my mind, knew that this was going to work. And it does work. Empower Network does work. No question. But I was making nothing. All right. So I worked from, I think it was 8 months. I made absolutely no money. Okay. But I kept on putting that money in. I kept on because I knew that if I just kept on, I would make, you know, that's a lot of the time when you start something like this, people give up too soon. But I made the decision from the get-go that I was not going to give up. And I didn't. I just kept on pursuing. And when you keep on pursuing, that's when things start to change. And I want to tell you what happened. When I got, I think I was about 3 months into it, I started to develop a skill where I could rank videos online. And I was getting very good at it. I could rank a video in less than a minute. Okay, so I was getting really good. So I started to charge people for my services. It was a skill that I learned. And I used to charge a certain amount of money. I can't remember now what it was, but it was like I would take their video, upload it, I would put all the keywords in and rank it all for like, I think it was like, I did one video a day for 30 days, and I charged like $100 or something like that, $100. And I did that for a few months. It was a skill, but I was bringing in money because it was a skill that I learned. And then I found out that it wasn't working as well, and suddenly the money wasn't coming in, and I thought, what am I going to do? And then something special happened. Through the process of learning how to rank videos and getting traffic, I stumbled across an advert somewhere on the internet that said, if you pay me $25, I will put up 25 adverts on Craigslist. And I thought, that sounds promising. Okay. So I got hold of this person and I wanted to ask if I could just pay $1 per ad. He said, no, it has to be $25, 25 ads. Oh man. So I said, okay, fine. So I went and I paid him $25. Oh my word, 250 Rand, $250. That was a lot of money. I paid him the money. He said, it's going to take 12 days to actually take into effect. So I waited to 12 days, and I waited and waited, and I counted those days. And when it started to happen, I started to see some leads coming to my autoresponder. And I was getting like 10, 20 leads a day. And I thought, man, this is incredible. And do you know what happened on the third day? I got my first commission. I think I had 30 leads. I got my first commission. I saw this notice that popped up that said, congratulations, you've just earned $25. And I got to tell you, it was very emotional. Because if you can imagine, 8 to 10 months working without getting paid and just putting out all this money, I finally got my first commission. And as they say, the rest is history. When that first commission happened, I waited it was, I think a day later, I got another commission. And then a few days later, I got another commission because I was getting these constant leads. And here's something interesting. When I actually started to realize that these adverts on Craigslist were working, I started to realize that when leads mean that you actually get money from them. The more leads you get, the more money you make. And so what I did was I took the adverts that were being put on Craigslist, because the guy that put the advert up gave me like a document with all the proof where all the adverts was. I went to every single one of those adverts. I copied all of them on a file, and then I rewrote them, put up different pictures, because he had put out the whole thing in a different way that I'd never seen before. And I copied his method. I actually went and duplicated what he did. You know what? I got more leads and I got more sales. Simple as that. Until I got to the point where I was getting like 60 adverts going in one day, because I had like 12, 13 accounts. And that was quite remarkable for me, because I was getting a consistent amount of money in, and I started to make real money online. But then something else happened. Craigslist deleted all my accounts. And I thought, man, I'm back to square one again. But I didn't give up. What I did then is I realized that the only way I'm going to move forward is if I do something else. So I didn't cry and move on and say, oh, well, this isn't going to work. I just did something different. So what I did was I learned the YouTube marketing technique. Now, what I had done before was I had started to make videos with Ryan, but then I started to watch other marketers. I started to watch how they were making movies, watch how they make their videos. Instead of introducing myself for 5 minutes and then talking about what I actually spoke, I started to be short, sweet, and concise and to the point. So I would start to do things like, in this video, I'm going to be talking about XYZ product. And then I would give them value, and then I would give them an opportunity to choose a system that I was using. And then I started to master the technique, and I started to get views. In fact, a lot of my videos have thousands of views because I followed the training in the Online Profits for Newbies back office. It works like a charm. That works. It's the best form of advertising. Now, Craigslist is extremely powerful and it works terrific. But the thing about Craigslist is they change all the time. They make different rules. And they don't like internet marketers. It's no secret. For some reason, they have an idea that we're a scam and that we don't really have a legitimate business. But we do. We offer people real opportunities where they can work and have a business online. And they do not understand the way that online marketing works, truly. If they did, I think they would have a different perspective. But ultimately, at the end of the day, online marketers, when they do things right and they follow procedure, and if you just persist and carry on, not giving up, I promise you this, that you will get results. All right? If you're watching this right now and you're up to this point in the video, then I've got to say, well done, because you've listened to what I have to say and you're obviously interested. And I want to help you succeed. But the only person that's going to get you to succeed is you. You are the only person that can succeed. Nobody else. Ryan made it very clear in the beginning when I spoke to him that he wasn't going to do this for me. And I thank him for that every day. Never be in a position where you have somebody else do the work for you. Always realize that you are the person that brings yourself forward. And I would never have got to where I was had I not taken action, had I not taken this and made a commitment and make it part of my life strategy. If I, for one moment, thought that I couldn't do it, And so what I want you to understand is that it can be done. Now, if you live in the US, or if you live in the UK, or you live in Canada, even Australia, New Zealand, and you are watching this, all right, I want to let you know that if I was in your shoes, I would have got to where I was a lot quicker. You don't have the obstacles I have, all right? You don't have to fight getting your money from overseas, from PayPal to your bank account. You don't have to fight with the credit card companies, with getting yourself approved, with all of this red tape. You don't have to fight with the fact that there are certain things on YouTube I cannot do. You can do it far easier than I can. You live in a place where the currency is stronger than mine. Yours is 10 times stronger, in some cases more. So, I mean, to be quite frank, if this system cost me 25 Rand, I wouldn't even have to think about it. I just get in. You know, you got 25 Rand, then you got 100 Rand for Inner Circle, and then I think the most expensive one for the Empower Network thing is, I think it's altogether, it's like 5,000, or I don't know what it is, but if it was 5,000 Rand, I'd be in tomorrow. All right, it wouldn't be difficult for me to raise that money over time. But 50,000 Rand is a lot of money to me. All right, whatever your problem is, don't let your situation stop you. If I can do it, you can do it. So I really just want to give this to you to show you that you can do it. All you have to do is believe it. All right? And I know it sounds like a cliche, but belief is the thing that gets you moving. Belief is the thing that makes you move forward. If you can imagine it, you can do it. And a lot of people say that, and I think it's a whole lot of nonsense. Well, let me tell you something. There was an experiment done with a group of basketball players. Right? There was two groups, Group A and Group B. And these basketball players were given, I think it was over 6 weeks, where these basketball players, these two groups, one group was to go and practice shooting hoops the whole time, and the second group was to watch the others shooting the hoops. And so at the end of the 6 weeks, they would go and then they would say, right, which group did the best? And do you know which group did the best? It was the group that watched the others shoot the hoops. Because when they were watching them, they were imagining themselves shooting those hoops. And it's like a big psychology thing. If you can imagine something, if you can imagine doing something, you will find a way for yourself to do it. You know, years ago, I went to the UK the one thing I wanted to do in the UK was do security, because I knew that if you did security, they paid a lot of money. It was like, they paid like £10 an hour, which is like 100 Rand an hour, which is incredible. Okay. And I just made a decision that I said, I need to go to the UK to be a security guard. I just wanted to do that. And so, a friend of mine told me that he went over to be a security guard, and he says, yeah, you can go over there and be a security guard. It's easy. So I decided that I was going to do that. I saved up all the money, and I went overseas, and I tried to find that job. Do you know what? I went in, I found a security firm, I went there, I tried to get the job, and I couldn't. I didn't do it. They wouldn't accept me. So I just walked away from that. Then I tried to do something else. I tried to work for the underground, but that didn't work out either. And I kept on looking. Do you know what happened? I ended up finding a job in security that paid me more money than I've ever been paid in my life before. And it took me a few months, but I got there. And it was only because I decided from the get-go that I was going to go and be that security guard. It doesn't sound very glamorous, but believe me, when you're getting paid in pounds, and in my country, it's a lot of money. So, what I want to say to you is, make a commitment. decide from now on that you are going to succeed. And I'm telling you now, if you take action every single day and you work towards your goal, all right, if you're doing a strategy, if you're doing paid, if you're doing free advertising, just do it every day and just keep at it, because you will succeed. All right? There's no question in my mind that you can succeed. So that's what I want to leave with you. I want to leave you with that story. I know that I've rambled on for a long time, but I wanted to share this with you because I believe it's important and I know that you can do it.